Hello and welcome. Welcome to Comparative Reasonings, the Atheist Dragon. This is what I do. Venting right here. I'm venting. I'm still flustered. Okay, let me explain. All right, let's go ahead and get this off. So, Godless Engineer did a debate with Maddox, and that whole debate was just, and I'm serious, Godless Engineer doing his best to explain things from not only his perspective, but scientific fact and whatnot. He went through the gambit on everything. All right, that's what he did. Maddox was absolutely trolling him, being condescending, doing his best to be right, not accurate, trying to use, and this is the folly, use scientific research to prove evidence of God. I mean, you can't do that. That's beside the point, but it does relate to this topic. So, his whole thing, and you can watch that debate, but I'm only going to put this debate clip. I'm going to put the link in the description. But this is John Maddox's the whole thing was about DNA. Is it a code? Figuratively or literally? That was the thing. But this is what he asked and how he asked it. All right. That made Godless Engineer just, you could just tell I can't deal. No, it's not going to be on screen. You can go look at the debate clip. It's about 9 minutes, 31 seconds where I'm going to play it from. But this is what it sounds like when someone asks a dumbass question trying to trap somebody.
You said specifically that you did not see how binary could be corollary to genetic code. Okay, so are you now, number one, are you admitting that there is a code?
That's when he has to put his finger on his head, shake his head. Are you now admitting that there is a code? Okay, I was gonna make probably about a 12-line reply, but I'm just gonna say it here because it pissed me off. This guy Maddox, I don't like him. He's disingenuous. He's a liar. He's a troll. He's not acting in good faith for anything other than his own ego and maybe the ego of any of his followers. That's it. He doesn't care about truth. He doesn't care about being honest. You can look at him and tell this guy is a sociopath. This guy is not well in the head. Now, Godless Engineer might be disagreeing with me, but when I've grown up around people like this, when I have watched plenty of YouTube channels with people acting like that, even the ones that were supposed to be positive, it's the same damn thing. And it's aggravating. The worst people are getting the most attention, and people like Godless Engineer and me and honest progressives and mythicists and thereof have to spend all day long debunking, refuting, explaining, and all this. It is a sick, twisted cycle. And my idea is shut it down. Not end it. No, I mean like you just take them and shut it down. You call them out for what they're doing. And you tell them not to argue that way. This guy here, look, now this might turn you off if I haven't already done that already. All right. But I want you to hang in there for me, please. I'm asking you to give me a chance. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a geneticist. I'm not a chemist. I'm none of that. All right. I don't have anything to do with any of that. But this guy is trying to trap Godless Engineer. I'm trying not to use his real name. Godless Engineer into, is it the claim that DNA is, is it figurative or is it literal? So are you meaning something else or is it literally a code? Now, let me go ahead and just get this directly done because it's been 4.5 minutes. Now, DNA in general, simplistically, that is what makes us up. All the way down the spiral helix. That's what it is. It has everything to do with our hair color, eye color, skin pigmentation, all that stuff that makes us us. It is all over our body. It is everywhere. So when you shed skin, hair, or fur, whichever you want to call it, of any form, pubic, eyelash, scalp, leg, arm, it don't matter. Hair, that's your DNA. Sweat, that's your DNA. Spit, urine, fecal matter, it doesn't matter. It has your DNA in it. It's just there. And when you get two genetic forms, a male and female, okay, their chromosomes mixing, not saying that life needs to be that way. Don't conflate it. Don't get stupid. Don't conflate it. I'm saying in general, males and females get together and reproduce. That don't mean males and females need to be together. We've got science to actually overcome a lot. Look into it. It helps. So when they get together, their DNA mixes. That's what happens. Their DNA will mix. That means that one strand of DNA may just say, look, I want the gray of eyes from this. And it's going to mix all of it. All of that's going to mix. That's why you get these genetic descendants. So you could be the third in your line and you'll get the gray eyes that your great grandfather had, or great 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 grandfather or mother had. You can have your mom, dad, you come out, you look like none of them, but you will look like the great grand or someone else in there because it's all in the DNA. It is random. And the reason it's called a code, scientists call it a code. And I'm saying scientists in general because I don't want to geneticists or anything like that. That's just, I'm not in that field. So I'm saying scientists. All right. So if you know the field, please insert field where I say scientist. Give me that. They call it a code because they're trying to crack the code of DNA. That's what they've been doing for the longest. Now you got some good, you got some bad on that. But if they crack the code, figure out what causes what pigmentation, what causes what to give cancer, what causes what to give this ailment or that benefit. What in this person's DNA allows them to do such? How can some stay youthful looking into their 60s while some can look in their 60s in their youth? If they can figure it out, then they can alter things to make people possibly live forever, even those that are living or those that are going to live once they are born. Maybe they could reverse the aging process. Maybe they could stop the aging process. Who knows? Speed it up for some. Maybe give you some form of invulnerability some kind of way or something. Toughen your skin, grow an extra horn, grow a tail. Because when you're developing in the womb, you do have a tail. It happens. Cracking the DNA, in quotes here, code is what that's all about. It's a figurative code because most codes are written on paper. It's a dial or something you see in Indiana Jones or some treasure hunt or something. And there's a code. You got to figure it out. Morse code, smoke signals, all this other stuff. There are various codes. They are literal codes, things to decipher. And that's what they're doing with the DNA. They are deciphering the DNA. So it is as literal as it is figurative. It is both. And this asshole, Maddox, because I have nothing positive to say about this sociopathic jackweed. I don't like him. I do not care about him. I don't. It is exceedingly negative because I do not like people like him. They only harm others and they lead with mendacity. And I don't like that at all. So, you might not like what I'm having to say about him. I'm not that type of person. I'm going to tell you the truth from my view. All right. I would appreciate it if Godless Engineer listens to this, if he would actually let me know what he thought about it. I'm really curious to what he thinks about what I had and have to say. DNA is not a hard subject to grasp. It's just an extremely difficult thing to do. It's not hard to grasp that buildings are built by people, but it's another thing to learn how to do it from the ground up, especially alone. That's different. You can go to college. Can you run a college? There you go. It's stuff like that. Now, in closing, because it's been 10 minutes, Maddox would do real good to talk about his God that way. Because is everything in the Testaments, are they literal or are they figurative? Was owning slaves literal or figurative? Oh, well, I guess it don't matter because that's the Old Testament. What a dodge that is. I mean, I'm just saying, why don't you not hold your own beliefs up to the same scrutiny that you want to give scientific facts and discoveries? That's the big difference. And that's why he was mainly after godless engineer. He wanted to try to trap him. He wanted to try to humiliate him. He was as condescending as one could be. Because I'm going to tell you right now, is God literal or is he figurative? He's a delusion. And that's all he, because you have to control his sex and gender and everything. That's all he'll ever be. That's all it'll ever be. Maddox can go fuck himself. John Gleason, the godless engineer, because I have fought hard enough not to say his name. I hope you hear this. And I hope you do not talk to that man again, because you do not need that level of stress. Nobody does. Don't debate this man. Let him be. Let him be, because he's crazy. This has been Cedric Kennedy, the Atheist Dragon, for Comparative Reasoning. Whew. Thank you for listening.